I feel like
We've had 4 years of Trump. We've had 4 years of Trump.
Yeah.
Trump did not go after his
what?
political enemies with the Department of Justice.
Right.
That was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Well, we had Hitler in the 30s and things were okay, and then we had Hitler in the 40s and they got way worse.
Oh, I
Just
see.
because we had him.
He hit his Hitlerism the first 4 years, and is going to come out in full force.
He tried to do things like that. He tried to do dictatorial fascist things, and he was stopped.
Joe Biden has flouted the law when it comes to these student loan giveaway programs. He's flouted the law. Supreme Court opinions that told him he didn't have the right to do it, and he openly said, I will get around the Supreme Court. He did it with respect to rent abatement programs, the same exact thing. And then he and Kamala Harris unleashed this Department of Justice against their political enemy, Donald Trump, their #1 chief rival for the presidency.
Okay. Well, we'll
Is it funny? Because they did it.
We'll see.
You want to talk fascism? That's fascist.
Here.
Today, we're diving into one of the most pressing debates in modern politics, how leadership styles affect both global stability and the fabric of democracy at home.
In a recent heated exchange on Real Time with Bill Maher, veteran journalist Megyn Kelly and host Bill Maher tackled this issue head on. Kelly, known for her candid, no-nonsense commentary, argues that a strong, unpredictable U.S.
leader keeps adversaries like Russia, China, and Iran in check. For her, this strength through unpredictability was central to Trump's foreign policy approach. But Bill Maher isn't convinced.
He sees a hidden risk that a leader unchecked by democratic norms, even one who starts with America's best interest at heart, could drift toward authoritarianism, a threat as dangerous as any foreign adversary.
Their conversation touches on global alliances, domestic justice, and whether the line between power and authoritarianism is closer than we think. By looking at these contrasting views, we're not just watching a debate, we're exploring what it means to lead responsibly in a complex world. Let's watch this interesting video. In their discussion, Megyn Kelly and Bill Maher analyze the growing alliances among authoritarian states Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, likening them to World War I's Axis powers. Kelly argues that assertive, unpredictable U.S. leadership could disrupt these alliances, as seen in Trump's presidency, which she believes kept adversaries cautious and prevented conflicts. Maher questions the sustainability of unpredictability as a diplomatic strategy, expressing concern that assertive tactics abroad might encourage authoritarian behavior domestically. He suggests America's strength may lie in consistent, stable leadership that upholds democratic values, both in foreign relations and at home. The debate highlights two philosophies: Kelly's preference for a strong, unpredictable stance to deter authoritarian unity, and Maher's call for stable leadership to reinforce democracy. Together, they prompt viewers to consider how U.S. foreign policy can counter authoritarianism without undermining democratic norms. Kelly's analysis of Trump's foreign policy reflects a belief in the effectiveness of unpredictability as a deterrent. She argues that Trump's approach kept adversaries like Putin guessing, preventing them from taking bold actions, such as invading Ukraine. In her view, Trump's willingness to project strength and take decisive actions, like targeting Iran's Qasem Soleimani, maintained a degree of uncertainty that discouraged hostile moves against U.S. interests. In contrast, Kelly interprets Biden's foreign policy as projecting weakness, particularly after the widely criticized Afghanistan withdrawal, which she believes signaled vulnerability to adversaries. By not taking similarly assertive actions, Biden's approach, according to Kelly, has emboldened leaders of authoritarian nations who may see the current U.S. leadership as less willing to intervene or retaliate. For her, the contrast illustrates how a leader's stance on projecting power can shape global stability by either discouraging or inviting conflict. This viewpoint underscores a debate in foreign policy, whether a strategy of unpredictability and strength is more effective at maintaining peace, or whether it risks escalating tensions that could lead to unintended confrontations. It raises questions about how U.S. leadership style impacts the actions of other nations, and whether a perceived strongman approach truly ensures stability or simply delays conflict. Kelly argues that Biden's administration risks undermining democratic norms by using government institutions for political purposes. Labeling the Department of Justice's investigations into Trump as fascist tactics, She suggests that targeting a political opponent through legal action crosses a dangerous line, threatening the integrity of democratic processes. Additionally, Kelly criticizes Biden's approach to policy making, particularly student loan forgiveness and rent abatement, which he pursued despite Supreme Court opposition. She views this as executive overreach that disregards judicial checks, reinforcing her concern about a willingness to bypass legal boundaries for political goals. This critique raises key questions about the balance of power in government, highlighting the risks of politicizing neutral institutions and sparking debate over whether these actions reflect strong leadership or authoritarian overreach.
I think history is not going to be kind to your point of view, but I appreciate you coming on and saying it. Thank you, Megyn.
Maher's historical comparison underscores his concern that early signs of authoritarian behavior can escalate if not restrained. By likening Trump's initial term to Hitler's early years, Maher implies that even a seemingly moderate start can give way to more extreme actions once power is secured. This perspective suggests that authoritarian tendencies might not be immediately evident, but could intensify over time, particularly in a leader with few checks on their authority. Maher's analogy highlights the importance of limiting executive power to safeguard democratic principles. His skepticism about Trump's non-interventionist record raises a larger question. Does restraint in one area, like foreign intervention, truly reflect a commitment to democratic norms? Or could it mask a tendency towards centralized, unchecked control?
Today, we look at the controversy surrounding Hunter Biden's legal troubles and President Joe Biden's defense of his son, which has sparked a wave of intense criticism. While the president has claimed that the charges are a politically motivated attack orchestrated by his opponents in Congress, critics have argued that the narrative conveniently ignores allegations of bias and leniency. Critics, including media figures like Megyn Kelly, have pointed to whistleblower testimony suggesting that Hunter Biden received special treatment due to his powerful family connections, with serious charges being deliberately ignored or dismissed. This dichotomy between allegations of political persecution and allegations of privilege has led many to question the fairness of the justice system and its ability to be influenced by politics. Adding to the mounting criticism are revelations from IRS whistleblowers who have played a pivotal role in unraveling the Hunter Biden saga. These whistleblowers directly challenge President Biden's claims of unfair targeting, instead alleging that Hunter Biden benefited from extraordinary leniency. They argue that significant felonies were either deliberately ignored or mishandled, with key charges allowed to lapse as statutes of limitations conveniently expired under the dojo's watch. These explosive allegations not only undermine the president's narrative, but also cast a shadow over the integrity of the justice system, sparking outrage over perceived double standards in the application of the law. Moreover, the whistleblowers have revealed a complex web of internal dynamics within the DOJ and IRS, suggesting that political considerations influence the handling of the case. They argue that such actions undermine not only the pursuit of justice, but also public trust in the fairness of federal agencies. This whistleblower testimony amplifies the broader discourse on whether powerful individuals receive preferential treatment, casting a spotlight on the institutional integrity of agencies tasked with upholding the law. Their revelations challenge the notion that the system is impartial, instead portraying it as susceptible to manipulation when politically sensitive cases arise. This is one of the most popular topics in the US today, and we want to hear from you. Please contribute by commenting below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to watch new videos every day. Thank you for your interest.